people will, people will not take this meeting for granted. So please ensure that you get your friend on the seminar as soon as possible, because the recording for this meeting will not be free of charge for anybody, because the value will be given the Lord. So, and we are doing this free of charge. So that means anybody who is coming to say, I want to get recording, I want to get, so no, it may not be very free. So please ensure that you you share as much as possible. So at this moment, I won't waste so much of our time. I would like to really welcome Nurse Oyedeman, so that it will be able to give us um, a, a panorama of what things look like as far as nursing recruitment worldwide is concerned. We are hoping that we'll be able to learn from him as regarding the general state of recruitment globally. Has there been any change? What's the present state of things? What are the challenges? What are the opportunities? Then what's the state of things regarding UK, US, Canada? I spoke with somebody, she's from Saudi. She had to travel to different country for her NCLEX, DDNs, NCLEX, came to Nigeria, went back to Saudi, spent a lot of money. And in the middle of the whole thing, Trump just came with a new. And this person never wanted UK. In fact, if she had faced UK, probably she would have even been in UK. But the same happened to doctors. To Trump frustrated everything for them. So it's very important that we be that we are tuned with policy. So we have a consultant and somebody who is very versatile globally in this field in the house today. So to tell us about the future of global nursing recruitment, do we still have prospects? Do we still have prospects for our nurses? Do we still have prospects for our nurses? If we do, what are the chances for them, so that we will not have people wasting money over and over again? So these are our concerns, and I think this is very valid. So want to know, going forward, 2026, what are the global opportunities that are hot cake for nurses that people can start to reposition themselves for gently and carefully, so that when the opportunities just open up, people will be able to maximize it fully. So these are the things that our daddy and our big uncle in the house.
Okay. Oh, could be.
So not to waste our time. So these are the areas that Nurse Oyedemi will be helping us with this evening. So very, very fast, I want to welcome you from United Kingdom. Thank you for staying true. I know it's been a lot being a consultant in this aspect of nursing, traveling, and combining it with your work. We really salute you, and I know it's a lot. Thank you for staying true. Good evening, sir. So you have the feed, sir.
Oh, sorry. Sorry for that.
Okay.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir. We can hear
Yeah,
you very well, sir.
thank you so much for having me this evening. Like like our host has said, I my name is Taiwo Oyedemi, and I've been passionate for so many years about nursing, maximizing the opportunities around them, and having access to information, having access to things that they need to know as they want to relocate. And there are so many potentials in Nigeria, outside Nigeria, and how we nurses fulfill their dreams to be a global nurse, to 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 allow their aspiration to get fulfilled. So thank you so much tonight, Grace Edu, Mr. Taiwo, for bringing me in again. It's been a very long uh, uh, time with each other, our relationship from the years. Thank you so much for what you do for us. And people, I just want to at the end of this seminar, one thing that I want us to do is appreciate Grace Edu, because over the time they have been helping nurses in one area or the other. I know some of us might have had contact with them before, and they are our go-to when it comes to IELTS, when it comes to any English language exam, when it comes to training, registration, IELTS, and all the other English language exams. So they have been helping nurses. I can count. I mean, uh, I can remember now, but if I want to count, I might have lost count the number of nurses who had issues with reading, especially, and I refer them to Grace Edu. And today, most are in the United Kingdom, most are in the US. So this is just also to let us know if you have difficulty in that area, you can always contact him. They are the sure plug when it comes to this area. We don't take them for granted at all. So just for us to just move on straight away without taking much of our time. The topic of our seminar tonight is exploring global opportunities for nurses to move abroad, to travel abroad, to fulfill your dream in 2026. First thing I want us to know is when it comes to opportunities, opportunities are are very permanent, but the form by which they present themselves, they are seasonal, they are dynamic. They won't present themselves in always a single way. So if an opportunity is open today, it might be easy when you compare it to how it will present itself next year. So that's why I say opportunities are very dynamic. So the opportunities that we have this year, we need to look at it. How do I want to maximize it before there might be challenges around it, before it will be blocked, before it can just become difficult. And let me reiterate this fact. Nurses will always be needed abroad and almost everywhere. Nurses will always be needed. Now, the question is, what are the opportunities that I can see that I want to maximize? And how do I want to position myself to maximize the opportunity? Briefly, let me just tell us the opportunities that were available for nurses in early 2000s. I'm even saying less than 30 years ago now. For example, let's use UK as a template. The opportunities that were available for nurses then was just that they will recruiters will go to Nigeria. They will just tell nurses, do you want to work? Yes, I want to work. They will just do an interview for them in an hotel. After that, they will just tell them, okay, we are taking you to the UK, and just as simple as that. It is in the UK that they will help them to complete their registration. Then they don't really do any exam, like we have three exams now. Then it's just as simple. So later, some exams were introduced, and even before now, only CBT is enough for you to travel to the UK, to move to the UK. But now everybody can know, can understand what it takes for a nurse to complete their registration if you're moving to the UK, and if you want to really fully get pinned. So just as I've said earlier, opportunities will always be there, but the dynamic in which they will present themselves is what will be different. What will be evolving from one year to the other. So now the first another thing I want us to look at is if you want to move abroad, if you want to relocate, what are the major factors that people normally consider? What are the major factors that people normally consider? The major factors that people normally consider, the first thing is always income. It is always income. And I won't say people are, everybody just looking for the best for themselves. And I would say one of the things that do affect this is lack of information from for some people, lack of knowledge can make them to prioritize a place that has income more than a place in which they can tailor their career. So every one of us we know that US is the best paying country when it comes to nurses. So followed by Canada and Australia, then we can attach New Zealand, then we can come to UK. And sincerely, UK is is the country that nurses move to the most in Nigeria. I can say. I mean, lateral movement, not just indirect. Okay, so but the main reason why people move to US is income. It's just It's just the first reason. So the second factor that can affect consideration why people will choose where they want to move to is access to information. If you have somebody who's able to give you details about a country, you are more likely you are more likely to go for that country than the other place. Generally, I've tried to evaluate amidst nurses in Nigeria, and let me just say African nurses, we have access to information about UK more than any other place. So that's always also contributes to the reason why people move to the UK any uh, uh, more than any other place. When I talked about income the last time, when I talked about income the last time, sorry, are we together? Okay. When I talked about income the last time, a place like US, you can have a state like California in the US, they are paying up to 140,000 US dollars. So compared to, let's say, if you want to compare that income to UK, it's not even up to half. You can even get almost one third. One third. So if you have a family in the US who is letting you to know, oh, look at the amount they are paying me, look at the amount I'm getting paid in the US as a California registered nurse, there's no way you will not want to be partial to move to such a place. So another factor is cost. When you look at cost, nowadays there are opportunities also in the Arab, Arab part of the world. That is the United Arab Emirates, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Oman. So those are places people see that, oh, the registration is not tedious, the cost also is not too much. They can always finalize their registration and move there. So I'll be using some countries to compare each other. When you compare the cost of relocating to the US compared to the UK, most time people will say they prefer UK, even though there are so many agencies that are ready to fund the registration of US, but in a way it will place you under contract and they are the one to determine where you will be working when you move. So, but for people who want to do it for them by themselves, they always prefer to go to the UK when you compare the cost. So another factor that we can look at is the family factor, because you have because of the presence of family members like parents, sisters, brothers, or maybe even uncles, aunties. We have a lot of them that really affect the choice of the location that people move to. You are more likely, if your family is in Canada, you're more likely to move to Canada. If your family is in US, you're more likely to move to the US. I myself, I have that such a personal examples. People, because of family, say, oh, this is where I've chosen, I'm not going to this other place. So another factor we can look at the easiness of process. We know some of the processings they are easier than each other. Everybody believes so. US is tedious, UK is simple. Middle East, which some people call Arab, Middle East, their processing is simple, interview is simple, no need to write too many exams, just one exam, and then they will finalize their processing to move. Yeah. So for that reason, some people will choose what is very easy for them uh to choose. Then the last thing I'll talk about here is when you talk about, I just want to group other factors into one. Other factors like human rights factor or settlement option. There are some countries that they don't allow settlement. So I need to let our audience to know there are concerns about human rights factor when we go to countries like the Middle East. There are concerns like settlement, like in the Middle East, all these countries in the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, UAE, Oman, they don't give permanent settlements to people. You can only be working there. You can't become a citizen. Whereas in the UK, after 5 years, if you enter with a work visa, you can become a citizen, and in the sixth year, you can have a UK passport. In the US and Canada and Australia, you can enter with a permanent residence. You can enter as a permanent resident, and that offers you the same level playing ground with the people who are born there. Your children will also have the same opportunity to enjoy free school. They will even be paid by the government child support. And then even There are so many opportunities like in US and Canada. You can bring in your parents, and your parents can even become citizens later. Very easy. So because of all these factors, some people prefer, oh, I want my mom to be with me after I've settled down forever. For that reason, some will choose Canada and US. That is not available in the UK. If you come to the UK, your parents can only visit you for 6 months. They can't spend longer than 6 months. Even if UK approves 2 years or 5 years visa for them, they can only spend 6 months per trip. They can't spend more than that. So, because of some of all these factors, that affects the choice why people choose where I want to relocate to. Then, if you are looking at requirements, relocating abroad, these opportunities for each country, there are different requirements, and the most important and the most challenging aspect of it is the English language exam. So, and each country, each region, they have the type of English language that they are accepting. UK, okay, let me just say almost all of them they accept IELTS academics. So if you need assistance with that, you can always discuss with Grace Edu. You can always discuss with Mr. Taiwo. He's going to guide you on that. So English language, which is IELTS academics, some of them they take OET. For example, now Canada has started taking OET. I think in the last 2 or 3 years ago, some of the provinces, which we call states in Nigeria, they started taking OET. UK is accepting OET and IELTS academics. And I learned also some provinces in Canada, they are accepting PTE. Mr. Taiwo and Grace Edu, they handle people for tutorial on PTE. If you need assistance on that, they can always guide you. So the next thing we can look at is board registration. You have to register with the board. In some countries, there is just a single board you have to register, which is like a federal or national body. Example is Australia and UK. But in some other regions, you have to register with the state, with each province, like the US and Canada. So and because some people, because they can move from one state to the other, some will even prefer a country like US and Canada. Oh, if I register with California, I can always move from California to Texas if I'm tired of California because of cost of living there. Okay, so the next thing that you need to know is after registration with the board, you need to do some professional exams. For in case of US now, Canada and Australia, you need to do NCLEX, and for UK you do CBT and you will do OSCE. Like NCLEX can be done anywhere in Nigeria. Sorry, anywhere all over the world. We don't have it in Nigeria yet, but we have it now in Kenya and South Africa. Those are the two places where you can take NCLEX. And it's been done in Brazil, Philippines, India. It's been done in the UK too. Meanwhile, if it's UK, you can take your CBT in any part of Nigeria. It's in Ibadan. I'm not sure it's in Ilorin. Maybe Grace Edu will spearhead the NMC CBT Center. Um, is in Ilorin, is in Ibadan, is in Lagos, is in Abuja, and also for the Husky, is you can only take it in the UK. You can only take the Husky in the UK. So those are the requirements. If any country you like, if you look at a requirement, is it going to be stressful for me? Is it going to be easy? Will the exams be too much for me? So before now, this is the reason why I say it is now the opportunities are very dynamic. Before now, oh, you can only when you pass your IELTS and CBT, if you are relocating to the UK, the employer will give you job and you will be given work visa to enter the UK. Then you take your OSCE exam in the UK, which is the practical exam. CBT is like the theory aspect, the computer based optional. Now it's becoming challenging that if you want to relocate to the UK, you have to apply for visitor's visa to travel to the UK and write your husky, look for job or travel back to Nigeria and then be looking for job. So that's why I say the opportunity that we have almost every season is dynamic. So if you're able to maximize any opportunity today, it will just be I would liken it to a seed that you have sown into your future, into the greatness of your future tomorrow that you will reap. So I want to implore us as much opportunities that we need to take this year. Let's maximize them before they will be they will becoming challenging and difficulties in one area or the other. Now, when we want to talk about generally, what is the general state of things in global nursing recruitment? The global nursing recruitment has been evolving from one process to the other. It has been evolving. During the course of my introduction and all along, I've been trying to tell us that nurses will still be needed all over the world. There is no way. Let me just give us a very shocking statistics. Just in the near future, by 2030, 3.6 million nurses must be registered in the US in order to be able to take care of the population. 3.6 million nurses must be registered in the US. And as at now, I'm not sure they are up to, as at now, I'm not sure the register that they have all over the state in the US is up to 3 million, is even up to 2.5 million. So they need to add more nurses. They need to add more nurses onto their register. And by year 2030, by year 2020, globally, because of retirement and because of one issue or the other, it has been estimated that all over the world, almost 1 million nurses will have to retire. And just look at that. But let's just consider the US case study now. If they need more nurses like that, that means that every year they need to employ or they need to register 190, almost like 193,000, almost like 197,000 nurses per year. That is, they are calling you, they are calling me, they are calling everybody who has positioned themselves in order to make themselves employable, in order to render the service and be paid appropriately. So let me reiterate that again. US needs to add 193,000 nurses every year in order to meet up with their target by year 2030, because one of the country where population is growing, US is there, is part. Their population as of today is between 500 to 600 million. So the population is growing. They need people in the health sector. They need you. They need me. So that's why I said that's just now. If you want to look at the general state of things, also we can talk about the challenges that have happened all along the years. How nurses also they have how nurses also how they have also try to position themselves. I want to say that one of the things that can make you to be very much employable in this season that we are is try more to be to develop yourself, try more to in different areas that you can computer literate. We have some of our colleagues when they come to this country, they struggle with computer being a computer literate because it wasn't part of what they were trained with when they started their own training. So those are the changes that we can say have happened over the years. Now, I want to go into details once again. I want to go into details once again. The positive changes that have happened over the years and the not so good, the challenging. I don't want to call it negative because for myself as an entrepreneur, I don't always see something negative. If there is a challenge, I'll look at if there's a limitation, I can look at how can we find our way around this challenge. So I don't always want to call something negative, but the other challenge, I will just call them the challenging aspect, not negative. So when we want to look about the positive changes that have happened over the years, presently, if you are just joining us, the seminar is exploring global opportunities for nurses to travel abroad, to work abroad, especially in year 2026. I know the information we are getting from this seminar, we will still maximize them and make use of them even after this year. But this year in particular, what are the opportunities that we can maximize? How can I position myself in order to ensure that when as these opportunities are presently, as there are more opportunities coming along my way, I'll find myself being fit into what is being needed globally, and so that I'll be able to also fulfill my dream and fulfill my aspirations. And Grace Edu Consult, one of the very known educational consults in Nigeria, based in Ilorin and Ibadan, based in Ilorin, Lagos, and Ibadan, and Ogbomoso too. They are the one that have put up this seminar, and for us to look at what are those opportunities that we can explore. So presently now we are looking at the changes. So for the positive changes, you will agree with me that one of the benefits that nurses have reaped in just few years now is just the relaxed regulations that happen with some nursing boards. Some of these boards, they relax their regulation. For example, in the last 4 5 years, NMC UK, that's Nursing and Midwifery Council UK, they relaxed their requirement for IELTS because over the time, if you want to relocate to the UK, you need to have seven all across speaking, listening, reading, and writing. But they discovered that um, many people are having challenges with writing. So they reduced zero point 0.5 from writing requirements, and now it made so many people to enter into the register, into NMCK register, to get pinned. Sincerely, it increased the number. So look at someone who has given up before now and say, oh, this writing has been so challenging for me. I'm not going to continue. But people who still continue to write the exam, say, I must get it. Then they find the right information, then they maximize it, and then they made use of the opportunity. So, relaxed regulation. Then 2 years ago, that should be 2 3 years ago, this particular board in the Canada, Nova Scotia Board of Nursing, what did they do? They say nurses from some particular countries, they don't need to write English language exam. They just need to register, take pass through the registration processing, and after that, they will write NCLEX and then they can move to Nova Scotia. So it means English language exam that has been the challenges for some people. They are trying to take it off. And with that, some people were able to maximize the opportunity. I know that some were not able to complete it because of getting job and because of getting visa to relocate. So I quite understand that. So those are the positive changes that have happened. Sincerely, it was more easy during that time to get registered and write NCLEX with Nova Scotia Board of Nursing than to start with a state in the US. So some people just use that avenue to quickly get to the stage of writing NCLEX, and then after they have been registered with Nova Scotia, they then transferred their registration to the state that they are going to in the US, or their real destination that they are going to in Canada. Look at how people have used a step to get to their destination. So when we have access to the right information, it always make our journey to be easy. So another positive things that have happened is flexible requirement. We can see these days that some of these boards, some of these countries, they are now accepting other English language exam as alternative to IELTS. Over the years, most of them have been fixated on IELTS and OET. Some that were taking IELTS, they are now taking OET in addition. And so now there is an opportunity that just
Let
happened.
me buy water. I'm coming out to drink water and talk to you. Provide for us.
There was an
Sister, put
opportunity.
enough milk, folks.
Okay, Mr. Tau will help us to mute. Yeah. So there was an opportunity that opened up in Australia last year, and it has never opened up uh, in Australia or any other country like that, so easy like that. In Australia last year, starting from April 2025, nurses who are registered in UK, UK, Canada, US, and they need to move to Australia, they don't need to write any exam. They will just register, do the assessment, do police check, pay the assessment fee, and then they will get paid. That's all they need to do. So I just believe many people weren't aware of these changes before now. Even if you are registered in UK, you still have to go through the stress of writing NCLEX, writing English language exam again before you be registered in Australia. So these are part of the benefits that nurses have reaped over the years, the positive changes. Now, what are the negative, what people call negative, or what I would say the challenging aspect, the not so good changes that have happened over the year? The major one that I will emphasize more that Mr. Taiwo was even trying to say when he was doing the introduction is the political factor. The political factor. You see, that political factor is one of the drive of any policy all over the world. You agree with me that even businesses, they try to position themselves in order not to be affected too much by political policies, by policies, global policies all over the world. Now, I want to take UK as a case study and US as a case study. So when we understand this, we'll be able to know how we need to sometimes go through a lateral relocation or go through an indirect relocation. Okay, let me start with the UK. And UK, the number of nurses that were registered between 2021 and 2024 thereabout was it was just within 3 or 4 years. We can compare it to the number of nurses that UK registered over a 10 or 12 years period. Why? The regulation in the country, the need for nurses was so much. The demand for nurses, it was so much in high during that period. Government policy supported demand for nurses, but presently in the UK, we have a political party that we can say they are on the left side. Now they are being pressured by a political party who is in the opposition that is on the right. Let me explain it that way. Now, because the party who is not in power, who is in the opposition, is pressuring them, it is affecting them. It is affecting them to be making policies that those policies are affecting how easily it is for nurses to be recruited. Okay, I'll also talk about Trump policy in the US so that we have understanding. Now, it is having a far-reaching consequences on how nurses are being recruited over the time, and it is now creating a little bit of backlog. Okay, so now going forward, we can still have that. We can still have those kind of challenges, but I promise you, migration, immigration, they are just temporary policies. They are not permanent. By the time they see that they are not able to meet up with local demand, the national production of nurses, they will open the border, and many people will now be flowing in again. So it's always temporary. It's not going to be permanent. So let's quickly use, before I go on because of our time, I'll be ranting off very soon. Let's use US as a case study. The backlog that has been for nurses to move from Africa, India, all over the world into the US, that backup, the way it has been from year 2022 to 2025, that backlog has been so much, has been so heavy. It's like Lagos traffic that is not moving on Third Mainland Bridge. We understand how Third Mainland Bridge traffic will be. Maybe on a very, very, very busy day, it will be moving little, little, little. But pre 2022, or let me say pre 2021, there has been backlog also, but people were moving. People were moving. People were moving. Now, I advised people then that if your destination is US, please come to the UK to step down. When you come to the UK to step down, over the years, even you will not be affected by the backlog. It won't give you sleepless nights. It won't give you so much concerns. So by the time it is now your turn, when it gets to your turn, you know, even if you have spent 3 or 4 years in the UK, you can start to move to the US. If you have spent 5 years in the UK, you can get your passport after sixth year, move over to the US. So that means you're having UK passport, and later you have programmed yourself, you have positioned yourself to have US passport too. What a benefit. Some of our clients, some of my colleagues that I told them, some of them, I call it step down. Step down. We call it a step down process. Some of them have been in the UK for some years now, and believe you me, some have spent 3 years, 4 years, some even 5 years. It has not even gotten to their turn. Some have passed NCLEX for the past 3 or 4 years. They are stepping down in the UK. Their destination is US. Okay, so when we have when we have access to the right information and knowledge, it always helps us to make a good choice. It always helps us to make a good choice that can have a far-reaching impact on our career. Now let's talk about the Trump policy. I'm still on political factors. Let's talk about Trump policies. The Trump policy, you will agree with me that Trump has been so much hard. He has been so, don't let me even use hard. He has been so much brutal on immigrants in the US. Now, only people who are trying to have a fair treatment are people who are already inside and they've had their documents solidified. Now, people who are outside and they are trying to get in, just on January 14, is it? Yeah, that should be on January 14. Trump banned 75 countries, Nigeria inclusive. I can even say 80% of countries in Africa were included. That they want to stop all form of immigration, visa migration, and Nigeria being included. It means nurses who have passed, who's supposed to move to the US now. We are not even talking about a queue again, moving or not moving. It has been stopped for now. It's going to take effect on January 21. That is just like 4 days to this time. And it means the green card pathway that many nurses were being used to become a permanent citizen on day one that they are entering the US. It means that that green card pathway is being affected now. It's called EB3 visa. It's being affected now. Now, nurses are now being just pushed to go and maximize the other option of the temporary work visa, which we normally call H1B visa. The H1B visa is a temporary work visa. It just means that when you get to the US, if you are leaving an employer, maybe they are not treating you very well, you have to secure a job with another employer who is having a sponsorship license to sponsor you as an immigrant to work in the US. It's not always easy to get. They also will have their own demand and their own issues. So that HB1 that you are being left with, it can give you little access, it can give you lesser treatment. But your colleague who has entered with EB3, which is the green card pathway, if they don't like employer A, they can leave them, abandon them, and go over to another employer without needing to be applying for work visa. They have a permanent stay. Okay, so for nurses now, I will still say UK too, they are hard on immigration for now, but if you can maximize it, look to Australia, look to New Zealand too. It's not always difficult as people always presume it to be. So those are that's why I say I will really talk more on political factors, because I believe nurses, you need to be knowledgeable. You need to know what is happening globally so that you make an informed choice. If you don't know, I still talked with somebody a few weeks ago. That person said they are not coming to the UK because they want to wait. I'm assuring everyone that if you only want to stay with US, it might cost you another 4 years that Trump will spend as president of US before you ever move out of Nigeria or your location where you are. Except you want to make use of H1B, which is the temporary work visa. So I want to encourage, if you can step down in the UK, it will be a good option for you. Explore Australia too. Now, another factor I want to talk about, which is the challenging factor, that has affected nurses uh globally, is okay. So let's just move because of our time. Let's just move because of our time. Now, what are the present state of things, and how can we maximize the opportunities that we have? The present state of things, how can we maximize? I think I've tried to talk about them when I was talking about the challenges. Number one is that if US is your destination, I want to talk about diversification. I want to talk about the step down processes that we normally explain, that we normally recommend for our clients, for people around us. If US is even your final destination, try and diversify a little bit. For the time being, you can diversify. I want to give us a good example. Oh, somebody who wanted to travel to the US in 2021, but the person is saying, oh, until this US processing clicks, I won't go. They stayed in Nigeria. A friend of theirs who said, let me go and step down in the UK for another time. From 2021 to this time, that friend by now will be becoming a permanent citizen in UK this year. Now, that is just 5 years after, okay? And that person, the income that they would have generated over the years, I can assure us they would have had a savings of nothing less than, let's say, uh, 30 to 40 million per year. As they are moving to the US, they can move into the US to go and buy their own house. Even if it is this year that the person that didn't move come to the UK, they are just entering the US the same year. That person who is just entering US from Nigeria will be starting from the scratch with no knowledge of international practice, with no with challenge, with one other challenges, and with lesser leverages. So if you diversify, it will be to your benefit. If you step down, it will also be to your benefit too. Okay. Now, another opportunity that we can always explore is that as each country, each board, as they are relaxing their regulation, please, I want to implore us, we can always, for our nurses who are in the UK and you want to move to Australia, please explore the opportunity of UK to Australia transition. UK, Australia has accepted UK now as a dynamic pathway that they can accept without you taking any exam, without you doing any exam. So please maximize all these opportunities that are coming along your way that are showing forth now. So for those that might just be joining us, I know we've really talked about a lot of things. We are talking about exploring global opportunities for nurses to work abroad in year 2026 and even beyond. I'm adding it for Grace Edu and even beyond. So there are opportunities that will always be there. Well, presently we are talking about the opportunities that are there. Let me assure you this: doors we never close totally for nurses to work abroad. I want to assure you of that. Doors will never close for nurses to work abroad. Okay, let me give you a statistics. As of today, the UK government, they have a mandate that they want to double the number of training places in the UK. Let's say, for example, if UK is producing 5,000 nurses per year within the UK, they want to double it maybe in the next 5 10 years, I think so, to 10,000. But do you know what? There has been a 26, or there has been a kind of 26% decline. It means that when they were producing 5,000 even before, they are not even producing 5,000 presently now. It has even decreased, and their target is even 10,000 per year. Did you see that? So every country, they can never meet their local demands. It's not possible. So that's why nurses will always be needed in a country like Nigeria, in a country like Ghana, in a country like India. So that demand will always be there globally. Let's take US also for example. I just told us during the introduction that one US need to add 193,000 nurses to their register every year. A, a state like California need more nurses, more than like combination of 4 states in the US. They can't because the population of California is so much that they need nurses to also serve their population. So the nurses are needed in those places much more, and recruitment also is fast, bar except the current Trump policy. Okay, so thank you so much. I've been seeing question, Mr. Taiwo. We coordinate that. So those are the things that we can explore for now. And I want to implore us, let's position ourselves. Let's position ourselves. So I've just told us about the local demand. The every country, they can't meet local demand at all, at all. They need you, they need me in some of these places to be to work and to fit in. No, now another opportunities I want to open our eyes to is that Grace Edu will help us in this area. In some locations now, we discover it is becoming a little bit difficult for nurses to just get in through work route. You can explore the study route if you have the means. As of today in the UK, we have quite some number of our nurses who have entered the UK through study route. You know what? It might seem as if the money they are spending for the study route is too big. In fact, I've talked with a lot of people this week. Okay, now I remember a client that the person entered through study route in 2020 or 2021. The person was just seeking advice on me concerning their permanent stay now. Did you see that? They came into the UK through study route in 2020 or 2021. Now they've counted the years of their study aside, the years that they've spent on their work route has been counted too, and they're now almost becoming a permanent citizen. But other colleagues then that are saying, oh, look at nurse B, look at nurse A is going to the UK through study. Why don't you write her it? She knows what she's going for. She knows what she wants to get at. She has been having challenges with IELTS. She has been having challenges with one thing or the other. Why not going through the route of study? And when they get to the UK, oh, do I think I didn't remember to tell us this. If you enter UK through study route and you are working in health related settings, maybe you are working as a healthcare worker or care worker. If you have worked after a year, you can use that as an evidence of your English language. And you might not need to take IELTS again when you're in the UK. That's part of the opportunities that people are positioning themselves. If I've been having issues with IELTS, let me just enter through study. When I'm finished with my study, I'll find a way to work in healthcare sector, and I will use that as evidence of English language. Then I will write CBT and I will write OET. In fact, we have so many of our nurses who have been using that in the UK presently. They are becoming uncountable. Let me just put it that way. Okay, so now it's just having access to the right information, like I've been saying, positioning yourself,
Yeah.
maximizing it,
Concentration.
and trust me, some of the sacrifices that you will need to make, whether through study, whether becoming a dependent to your spouse to enter through study, they will just be for a while. You will see yourself getting paid. So that client that was telling you, the person entered through study in 2020 or 2021. Now they are almost completing their 5 years requirement stay to be on work visa, and then they will be becoming permanent citizen a year after they get a British passport for them and for our husband and for their kids. Okay. Now, if I think I've tried to also say, you look at the global prospect. What are the global prospects for nurses? The global prospect are some of the things I've also tried to let us know. The opportunities will always be permanent. The form, the presentation is what is dynamic, is what will always be different over the years, over a period of time, over seasons, is what will always be different. So nurses will continue to be in demand all over the years. Recruitment, if anybody tells you, oh, they're not recruiting in the UK again, it is not true. The recruitment drive might not be as strong, the demand might not be as so high, it might not be as easy like it was in the past. Okay, so those are the things that we can just look at prospects. Now, I want just to give just tips for us as we round up finally in the next 1 to 2 minutes. How do you want to position yourself for all these opportunities, for all these prospects? How do you want to position yourself for all these opportunities, for all these prospects? In giving these tips, I will be giving us the summary of what we've talked about before. Number one is that have a solid plan. And with your solid plan, because everything is not under your control, have a little bit of be flexible and let your plan have an alternative. Be flexible and let your plan have an alternative. Example is the step down method that I said. If you are going to the US, you can take UK as step down. If you are going to Australia and you know that the process is lengthy, you can take UK as a step down. Okay? Even if you are coming to the UK, you know that you don't always have the money to finance writing out over the time. You can take Middle East, the Arab, as a stepping stone. People are doing it. I have quite some number of colleagues who have moved from Saudi Arabia, Dubai to this place in the UK, and then to Canada and US too. Okay, so then another thing is that getting appropriate information. So having right access to information, having fast that over the time, we is it is it cannot it is undebatable. Having the right access, having access to the right information and knowledge is undebatable. So then some people have been postponing exams that they need to do. That IELTS, take it this year. Don't postpone it next year. Take it this year. Don't mind what people are saying. Oh, IELTS is difficult. IELTS is challenging. Oh, my friend has failed it 4 times, so I'm not going to take it. No, I've had some people who took IELTS 1 time, especially if you go along with Grace Edu. They are specialists in that area. Consult them, let them get you going, let them give you the courage and the boldness that you need for you to start. So write that exam this year, take that step. this year. Okay, so I want to also reiterate it to us that there will always be a shift in the political policies and policies all over the world. Always have the right knowledge, always position yourself so that if those shifts are there, they will not affect you too much. It will just be like swimming along with the tide. It will just be it will just be like you are also going along, not that it will affect you and now swerve you off your feet totally. No. So those are the tips I want to give us as we round up. So please, thank you so much, Mr. Taiwo. I want to appreciate you for this opportunity to talk to our donkeys again as we try to maximize the opportunities in this year 2026. And if you have our question, Mr. Taiwo will be there to just answer us
Ah,
and direct you.
wow, wow. Thank you so much. Can we say, uh, sorry, please, you need to mute. So please let's mute so that will not be affecting others in the class, please. Thank you so much. Also you did me like this is really, really, really great. Thank you so much.
Welcome,
Thank you
sir.
so much. In fact, what you have given us tonight is it's what we paying for it, and we really appreciate the generous heart. And is this generous heart that you have been having far back earlier time, School of Nursing, 20, 2008, 2010, 2011, 2012,
Yeah,
that has been pushing you forward to where you are now. And I really appreciate this. Sincerely, I have my own notes filled too. And I feel that you have shared things that are really surprising to me. Um, Before we allow for questions, please, if you have questions, please take note of your questions. In fact, you can even use the chat box
yeah,
and start putting it there.
correct.
Or if you also like, you may just probably um, raise your hand so that at least it will just allow you to unmute and talk. So I want
Yeah,
to just say this, just to corroborate what Nurse Oyedemi said. Somebody reached out to me last 2 weeks
yeah.
regarding employment in UK. He went to UK through self-sponsorship, I think around November last year. And he
Okay,
got there, he did his exam December. And it
okay.
was like, and he has been applying even when he has not passed OSCE. He has been applying, like doing like 5, 10 applications daily without even passing OSCE yet. So, but he passed December.
Wow,
Hmm. I was surprised that this guy got 2 jobs in a week.
that's great. That's
He
it.
got 2 jobs. He had interview Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like 3 interviews lined up for him. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
And 2 out of those three agencies gave him job.
Wow.
And this is still in the middle of others that have done their house key,
Yeah.
passed the house key, came back to Nigeria, used 6 months in UK, did the exam, applied, no
Mm-hmm.
job, came back to Nigeria again, started applying again. So that
Yeah.
means when people are saying things are bad, others are still finding it
Definitely.
easy.
Yes.
Like, I was like, that guy now, all of his hunting for a job now after house key was less than 1 month after house key.
Mm.
And he got the job, 2 jobs far.
Jobs.
So
Yeah.
I want to encourage somebody that the jobs are out there. The jobs are out there. It's just about you getting your requirements in place. And I
Yeah.
think that nurses don't need to waste money at
Mm.
all. They don't need to
So,
go and be paying 7 million, 10 million, 15 million to any agent because they want to really travel out. And so except if you want to, if if you cannot meet the requirements, as our consultant has said, and you want to now go through education route, probably you are done IELTS, you're not just passing it, and you want to come in through I, because as he said, if you come in through IELTS, you will not even need to write IELTS later, because
yeah.
if you are probably gotten a nursing degree over there, and you now probably later work in an health sector, as he said, they might waive IELTS for you later as a requirement. So that might be a way for people who have been trying and they are not passing this high. So if you have the amount, why not just go through that other second round? So I have a lot of stuff in my heart, but I'm just overflowingly happy for the information you are given to us, for the enlightenment, And I know that a lot of people here have questions. So we want to open the chat box. And if you also have questions, you may just raise your hand. You may raise your hand where you are so that we can unmute you, or probably you may even unmute yourself, and let's have the questions one after the other. So, like, this is not Oedemi. I believe that he has given us this opportunity almost free of charge. Please let us maximize having somebody who is very versatile in the nursing field and who has been helping different nurses to travel over the years. So if you have questions that are bothering you, let us throw it at him now. So he's ready and he's doing all of this free for us. So if you have any question, you may unmute. If you cannot unmute, you can drop it at the on the chat box, anyone you want. So, and let's see how we can go. So
Also, sir, should we take the questions on the chat box first?
yes. Let me read it for you, sir. He said, thanks so very much. I want to ask if nothing can get permanent residency from Nigeria to Canada. That's somebody
Okay,
from
yeah.
Canada.
Okay, let me answer that. So for Canada, Australia, and US, in fact, the priority pathway that your agency, your employer, will want you to take is permanent residency, and that's very, very possible. If you want to move to Canada, that the person is asking now, permanent residency might be a good option. But if your employer or your agency is not offering you that permanent residency and you move with work permit, as in the case of Canada, I want to assure you within 1 or 2 years, you can become a permanent resident in Canada with your family. In fact, your employer will even guide you, they will even be happy for you to become a permanent resident in Canada. Because after 2.5 years or 3 years, you have Canadian passport. So it's very possible. So that's it, sir. Can we move on to the next? I think there are some questions above that question too.
Okay. I'm not seeing it. I'm trying to check it for me. So I can't see it for me, sir. You can probably help me with it.
Okay, let me help you. Oh, there's a question someone asked. Please advise for an individual whose UK registration is active. CBT passed, processing hired, then for US, NCLEX passed, awaiting priority date and interview. Then Canada provincial nomination entered. Where should the priority be placed and focused? Sincerely, my advice for this person, if you are considering UK, Canada, and US with this that you have listed, my advice would be to maximize the UK pathway for now, because the provincial nomination, it might take time. I think you can still consult Mr. Taiwo Grace Edu for that. They can advise you. For the US too, considering the Trump ban on EB3 visa, which is the green card pathway, it might also take time. But for the UK, it might be a good choice for you if you have the resources to combine them together. Okay. So that's what I would say about that. Okay, so let me just read the next question that someone is asking. Um, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Between UK and Canada, which do you advise one should go for nurse? Seeing on the trends on immigration. Well, between UK and Canada, I would say since US is not out of this question, I would say you can consider UK and you can consider Canada as well, based on your own priority, based on your own factors. If you want to sit down for a long time and you don't mind the processing taking a lot of time, you are okay with Canada. But if it's a short time and you don't mind the challenges with job or with recruitment that we are facing currently in the UK, you can choose UK. So I need to balance the two to let you know. So, but if you are entering Canada, know that you're entering with permanent residency card. You become a permanent resident. Have access to the same thing that the citizen of that country are having access to, including your children too. And but for the UK, you are entering with a work visa after 5 years. It's until after 5 years that's when you become a permanent resident. So another question in the chat box that I'm seeing here, he said, please, do you have any pathway for nurses, for nursing? Okay, let's say in Alberta and Saskatchewan. Okay, that's like two provinces in Canada. Asking if there are pathway for nurses in Alberta and Saskatchewan. Oh, maximally, I will refer you to Mr. Taiwo for that to let you know the opportunity for nurses in Alberta and in Saskatchewan. But I believe he will be able to guide you properly on that. There are always opportunity for nurses in almost all the provinces in Canada from time to time. So another question I'm seeing here says, for someone that will complete BNSC program in 2028, when do you advise the person to write IELTS? If you are completing your BNSC in 2028, I believe this year you should be writing your RN, or maybe you have even written it last year. The moment you have written your RN exam and you have passed, because in Nigeria, the structure is that I need to let us know because I believe our audience are not only Nigerians. In Nigeria, if you are doing BNSC, you write your RN exam in maybe 300 or 400. So the moment you have finished writing your your RN exam, and you have been licensed in Nigeria, start preparing for your IELTS. Although the IELTS will expire after 2 years, but do you know that you can be graduating and on your day of graduation, your visa is already ready to move to the UK or to move to the country that you want? I have some people who did that. So the moment you have passed your RN, the next thing you should be doing is to preparing. Sorry, if you have passed your RN exam and you have get license, the next thing you should be doing is to preparing for your IELTS. That's possible. Okay, I believe I've answered that question. So, Mr. Taiwo, I don't know if there's anyone who has raised up their hand and they want to ask question verbally. Maybe I quickly answer this question before those people will come up. Somebody is asking that, please, do you have pathway for Malta? Okay, for Malta, still consult Mr. Taiwo, Grace Edu. They will guide you properly on what you need to do concerning that. They guide you properly on that. Yeah. So, do you have anybody you want to ask question verbally? Maybe Mr. Taiwo probably is having issue with network. Do you have
Yes,
anyone?
I'm back, sir.
Okay, you're back. Okay. Over to you, sir.
Yes, have we exhausted all the questions, sir?
Yes, all the questions in the chat box they have been exhausted.
Okay, good, sir. Please, you said something that is very profound, that there have been reduction in IELTS requirements in a particular country. Eh, Is that UK?
Yes, sir. That's UK.
Okay, so that means it's now 7, 7, reading seven, writing six now, Abi?
Writing 6.5.
Okay,
6.5. Before they put it at 6.5, it was 7. You know,
okay.
yeah, it was 7. Some people use 7, and some people have
Those times.
6.5 in their writing, and they are not able to make use of that 8.
Okay, so now it's now 6.5, right?
6.5, yes. Over the year.
Okay, okay. What about Highland? Is there any are there chances in Highland close to UK there?
So I've been following Ireland for a while now. If you want to move from Republic of Ireland to the UK, right?
Like from Nigeria to people going to Highland now.
Okay, from Nigeria to Ireland, the requirement is just that you can have 6.5 in any of the modules instead of how it is fixed to writing for the UK. So for Ireland, it is 6.5 in any of the modules. Though their island registration might be a little bit tactical, you just need to give them time. They don't respond quickly like UK.
Okay, 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 okay. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Really
Okay.
appreciate so much. So that means for nurses, there are opportunities for nurses this year. It's just about them getting their requirements and giving it the shots. So
Yes.
so that is a gospel message, like it's a good news we are hearing from Emma's consultant that there is opportunity, like there is job. In fact, if I did not experience that nurse last week getting two jobs within 2 weeks after finishing OSCE, I will
Yeah.
not believe, because I know of two nurses that that were in UK for the OSCE, spent about 2 3 months, apply, no job, came back to Nigeria. They are still applying for me here too. So, but in the middle of that, we see, in fact, I know of two people that got job within October last year and this year.
Yes,
So
correct.
that means people are actually getting the job. So it's just about we getting ourselves over
Yeah.
there. And our consultant said something remarkable. He said that the opportunities are always there, but the
Yes.
dynamics will be changing
Over the
year
time.
in, year out. So,
Yes.
and I really want us to eat the nail when eat the iron when it is hot. Eat the
Yes.
iron when it is hot. So,
Yes.
God bless you. Thank you so much, sir. We are so much grateful. So,
You're
let me tell
welcome,
you
sir.
something about Emman Solution. Emman Solution have been our major plug for all the nurses coming to us, at least in the last 4 years. Most of the nurses coming for our
Yes,
height,
sir.
we prep them for the height, soak them for the height, and then they go back to Emma's, and then Emma's finish the rest. Like, is it the registration, NM registration? Is
That's
it the husky preparation? Is it,
it.
name it? Is it the funding? Is it the guidance for all of the process? In fact, even support over there in UK. Emma's
Yes.
and do
Yes.
everything,
Yes.
every other thing. So they have been a very close company. In fact, it's not even company, it's even family. So they have been a family and friend over this time. So I think Emma's is a go-to person. So any somebody asks that any idea about financial implication of self-sponsorship
For the UK.
in the UK, then what about diploma nurse and in the UK? Probably you can just probably help us round up with that, sir.
It
She's
is
asking for the
okay.
financial implication for self-sponsorship.
Okay. Yeah, so the financial implication for self sponsorship is just that you have to, if you have, let's say, one, the husky fee itself, husky fee itself is just what I would call around 1.7 million naira. And if you factor so many other things, I would say that with 2.5 million, or 3 million maximally, you can start. And there's one thing I've discovered about the processing, the relocation of people. By the time you get to some stages, some help will arrive for you, will come for you, compared
Hmm,
to when you are starting. I've had
hmm,
so many people that it is their friends in the UK. The moment they discover that they've passed their height, they say, we'll support you, I'll borrow you money for all the things that you
hmm,
need. They say, I will
hmm,
pay for your flight. You can pay me back later. You can say,
hmm,
I will. The moment some people got their visa, say, you need money with flight, I'll go and look for money. So don't always look at the total amount, but can you be taking the step gradually? So with Get Go, maybe 2.5 or 3 million, you are ready to go for self sponsorship. Okay. Now, about diploma nurse and the UK, maybe this person is asking that they are having diploma as a nurse and can they work in the UK? Yes, you can work in the UK. I would say 90% over in the last 5-10 years, 90% of nurses moving to the UK are having only diploma, which means people just go to only school of nursing and maybe with specialization in mental health or midwifery or pediatrics. So degree is not compulsory for moving to the UK. As a matter of fact, the requirement with NMC UK is that if you have studied nursing for 3 full years, you can enter the register in the UK. And in School of Nursing in Nigeria, we spend 3 years. So that qualifies you to apply to enter into the UK register. So being a diploma nurse is not a limitation to get registered with NMC UK. So I think, should I move to the next question, sir?
Yes, please, sir. On that, I want to ask, sir,
Okay.
what's the opportunities for community health nurses, community nurses? Do they have a chance? And what's the opportunity for people that are RN, registered midwives? There's the RN, but in some places in North, they have RM. So do
Okay.
they also have the same opportunity, community head nurses and or community nurses rather, and then registered midwives? Do they have the same nurses as RN, the same opportunity as RN?
Okay. To relocate abroad, right?
Yes, sir. In the UK, especially.
Okay, so Mr. Taiwo,
Yes, sir.
I just believe that it's always challenging for me when I see the policy makers in Nigeria, they don't have the requisite knowledge and appropriate knowledge. Before they implement some policies, there is not always proper public consultation.
Okay.
People who are doing community, okay, in fact, Mr. Taiwo has been with nurses for almost 10 years now. So he knows nurses in and out, he knows everything about nursing. So you agree with me that we have a lot of dichotomy, a lot of plurality in nursing in Nigeria, that they're supposed not to create another program called community nursing.
Mm,
We have
mm,
diploma
mm,
nurses that are fighting degree nurses. We have a lot now. Diploma nurses in Nigeria, if after doing RN, you still go to do specialization, it's not even equate to a degree in Nigeria. Why creating another program? I'm
mm,
coming to your question, but I just need to emphasize that our leaders, they created that program for community's sake. But why don't
mm,
they make use of CHIL, community health extension workers, or they train more midwives and post them to the communities? There is a serious limitation and serious challenges with people who do community nursing now.
mm.
Relocate abroad.
They can't.
They can't relocate abroad without
Mm,
the certificate because it's just
mm,
2 years. It doesn't qualify for UK that is taking the minimum. Not to even talk about Australia, Canada, and US. And anybody who wants to take RN, they still need. In fact, there's not even a program yet now that I know that anybody who has studied community nursing for 2 full years, they will need to transition to become an RN in Nigeria. And if they are doing that, it is still going to be another 2 years. Now, I was talking about so many plurality, so many dichotomy. Now we're now having community health nurses, we are having RN, we are having specialties that have not been upgraded to postgraduate. All these are not even equate to a degree yet. So why creating that program?
okay. What of RM? There's a people that will have RM that like registered midwives, people
Basic,
from
right?
the north, basic
Basic.
and basic RM. Do they
So
have chances?
yeah, a basic registered midwife who has studied for 3 years in
Yes.
in Nigeria, they can move to the UK
Good.
because they have
Okay.
studied full 3 years. If they apply for verification with Nigerian Nurse and Midwifery Council, they will be registered. And there are
Register.
some things that most of our people do not know about entering the register in the UK. No matter what you study in Nigeria, you can enter any part of register in the UK. For example, now somebody who did only RN nursing in Nigeria, they can enter the part of register as a mental health nurse in the UK. They can enter as a pediatric nurse. They can enter as a midwife in the UK. So what UK just wants is that they want an evidence that you have actually studied for full time 3 years, which they will
Yes.
ask Nigerian Nurse and Midwifery Council. And that's all. You can become anything you want to become in the UK.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much for this enlightenment. Thank you so much. That's like we don't receive not in education. So finally, I don't think there's any other question on the chat box that
I think there is
you have
one,
not.
sir.
Okay, there's one now.
They say,
Okay.
I heard UK no longer accept diploma nurses. I'm tired. And the person sent the second question. Diploma nurses are no longer getting jobs. Please educate us. We must have BNSC. No, it's not true. Do you see this news that UK is no longer accepting diploma nurses? People have been peddling the news since 2018, since 2019. It is not true. It's just what Mr. Taiwo was just even trying to clarify. As a diploma nurse, you can work in the UK. The present challenges with UK recruitment that we are having now is because of the political factors, in which have told us, I'm assuring us, is temporal. It's just temporary. It's not going to be permanent. It's temporary. By the time they see that the patient, as at today, there are people, the residents, the citizens of UK are being taken care of in the corridor because UK is not building more hospitals and they are not employing more. There are serious burnout for nurses. The normal ratio for a nurse to patients in the UK is supposed to be 1.8. Now we are having 1.1 to 12, 1 to 14. Meanwhile, Australia is still managing their own ratio 1 to 4. standard aside from critical care or intensive care unit, which is 1-to-1. So it will get to a time that a leader will get there, or there will be serious protest or serious issue. In fact, RCN, the nursing body in the UK, is already taking that up with the government now, and government is now working on it gradually. That we agree on 1.8, but we are now having one ratio 12, 1:14. Burnout, serious burnout, and retirement. So that recruitment challenges will soon fade away.
So it's a temporary issue.
It's a
Policy.
temporary issue. It cannot be sustained for a long time.
Yeah. Somebody is asking for the pay amount compared to UK, US, or like in that order. Like
Order.
is like which one has the highest pay?
Okay, let me use US dollars, which is the foreign currency that we are used to in Nigeria. I will use should I use annual pay, sir, or I should use a monthly pay? Sir? Hello, sir.
You can use annual. Let's say
Okay,
annual
annual.
because
Okay,
that annual will scare us more.
okay. Now let me just start with US. The annual pay in US for an average state, I want to use Texas as an example, is just between, let's say, 88,000 88,000 US dollars
Wow.
to 90,000 US dollars.
Hmm.
And Texas is the state in which I will advise if you want to enter US, go through them. The registration processing is simple, it's not difficult, it's not challenging. So that's what some of our people even do. After getting your paying with Texas, you can now move to try
Wow.
to register with the other state you want. California is the highest paid, but California is just like I would say the Lagos or Port Harcourt or Abuja of Nigeria. Cost of living is very high. So you can get paid almost like 140,000 US
Dollars.
dollars
Hmm.
in the California.
Hmm.
As the cost of living is high, the pay also is high, and I think for you to even become a specialist is even much more easy in one state to the other. Now let me use when you come to the what's it called now, uh, UK for example, the starting salary for a nurse in the UK as at now the current state is around £29,000. So
Ah,
let me
that's
just
very
use
low
my that's ridiculous, sir. Let me
compared
just
to US.
let me just
Hmm.
use my calculator and let me give you that now in that amount in
In
dollars.
dollars.
So in dollars, if you are looking at 29,000, let me just say it's average. In London, you can get 32,000 in London as starting, or 33,000 in London. But cost of living in London too is high. But averagely in the UK is 29,000. That's just like 38,000 US dollars. Just like
That's 8,000. Okay, that's
38,000.
like half of what those ones are collecting.
Half of what people are being paid. And I want to assure you, I don't know whether I have little more time, if Mr. Tao will permit me.
At least you do.
See,
You have today.
there was a factor I missed out because of time in reason why people choose destination. The career progression. If you love to be independent, I will advise you, US should be your top destination. You can
Hmm.
have your own practice in the US. As of today, it's not available in the UK. In
Hmm.
Canada, you can have your own practice. If you become a nurse practitioner, this amount, this 140,000 that is the highest in California, is even the money you can make in 3 months if you have your own private clinic in the US by
Wow.
just going for some 1 or 2 years courses. And you must be versatile. You must be ready to read. You must be ready to do some advanced nursing practices. So if you are somebody who has a career trajectory that you want to get to that destination, you have so much taste for career progression. US is your destination. If you love independence, US and Canada is your destination. You can become
Hmm.
an advanced practitioner, a nurse specialist. Have your own clinic. You can consult, you can assess, you can diagnose a patient, and you can even prescribe medication. In the
Wow.
in the UK as of today, the nurse practitioner role is there, but in a way, you still work under a little bit of supervision and you can't own a clinic. But in the US, oh my God, you become what you want to.
Wow. 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 That's amazing. So I don't know the the major reason why people were so much pained when Trump came up with his policies. And I know, wow, wow, like it's a lot of frustrations actually. Wow, thank you
Mm.
so much for this. So somebody is asking on the chat box that do
Okay.
perioperative nurses have chances? Are there opportunities for perioperative nurses in the UK? Then what are the requirements? This and that and that. So like,
Okay.
I guess it's a
Yeah.
normal channel, right?
Okay. The normal challenge.
Like normal channel for the
Okay.
RN2 for the perioperative.
Okay. For perioperative nurses in the UK, I would say they are part of the hot cake
Okay, good,
because
good.
it takes. This is one of the areas that require special training
Mm,
and experience. So
mm.
when they see it on your profile that you are a perioperative nurse in Nigeria, with even just a minimum of 2 years, you are an hot cake. Why?
Wow.
You know what it takes to take a perioperative nurse in instrumentation alone?
Mm,
Not to even talk about adhering with standards,
mm,
operating procedures in the
mm.
operating theater. So if you are though UK too, if you enter as RN and they post you to the theater, they can train you, but they know that it will take time for you to get acclimatized to that environment. Compared to somebody who has been scrubbing to somebody who has been circulating in the theater for a long time. So there are
Wow.
opportunity is
Wow.
there
Yeah.
for preparatory nurses in the UK.
Mm. Wow. Wow. That's great. Hello.
Yes, sir. I think there are no
Wow.
questions again in the chat box
So,
unless you have
so that
any.
means therapeutic people have great opportunities.
Sir?
That means therapeutic nurses have great opportunities abroad.
Yeah, they
Therapeutic
do.
nurses,
Yeah, they
right?
do.
Wow, that's great. So thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful opportunity that you gave to us, lending your experience, lending your expertise, your knowledge over the time. So we so much appreciate this. So I know that your wife has been working underneath, translating, sending the codes to us. Thank you so much, Nurse Adebola, for the
Yeah,
support, for the encouragement. We really appreciate it. And the children over there, we are saying thank you to the whole family for the support you have given
welcome,
to
sir.
daddy to come around and be available for all of us. So we are really so grateful. Thank you so. There's a question that is coming and I said, please, what about anesthetics, accidents and emergency? I think these people are plastic surgeons. I think these are very
Areas.
special areas. So they should be in high demand kind of. Or what do you think, sir?
Yes. Okay, for let me take from accident and emergency. Accident and emergency, their demand is always high because almost every hospital they will have accident and emergency is almost required. So and also under emergency section or emergency unit in the UK, there are also sub units also that they normally admit people in, not only what is being known in Nigeria as A and E, so to say. So that opportunities is just limitless. It means you have a lot of hospitals you can apply to, and with
Like,
your experience, if they don't put you in accident and emergency straight away, they can put you in some unit like they can say same day emergency unit or same day emergency care. They can put you in acute emergency. So emergency has a lot of branches like that in the UK. I believe you can just fit in like that. So in emergency, they can admit some people, they will stay for longer days, while in some other units still under emergencies, people they know that they can take care of them on the same day and they will go home. So you can fit in into any one of them. So for anesthetists, just like we know, there are not always too much anesthetists to role in the almost in all the hospitals because always one anesthesis can be needed, let's say one per surgery like that. But because it's of something that is always very precious in Nigeria, even if you don't get that particular role when you are entering the UK, take any role that you have. I know there can be lots of skill like that you might be want to be very, very concerned about. After 1 or 2 years, I promise you, you can look for the area within the hospital or hospital around where you can just transfer your role into and you can just continue to be on that career pathway. So for plastic surgery nurses, well, that role is not so common also like you have it in, let's say, US. Oh, okay, in the UK it's not so common, but in the US, oh, you are the the
You are the
you
king
have a
there.
lot of areas to fly your wings, and you can even negotiate your pay very, very well in the US. Yeah.
But for that plastic surgery, do they have any chance for UK people like that? Do they even have any chance to even enter at all?
Well, if you are coming into the UK, there are some areas in which I will not even advise you to click to apply for the job because of the level of training that it requires and the level of specialization that they want you to get used. Example is pediatrics. It's not, we found out over the time that they don't always want to recruit from Africa into pediatrics units
Mm,
into the UK. They prefer that you have been in the system, know the nitty-gritty of the system, and then you can now transfer to the pediatrics unit later. I can say
mm.
1/100 or 1/200. There are, but very, very hard and very, very
Very, very
minute.
hard to get.
In fact, they will want you to get used to their system very well before you be taking care of their children.
Mm,
Not
mm,
to even tell you, I need to tell you this, my people. There are some units in the UK that are very delicate. Maternity is one of them. There has been a lot of crisis. There has been a lot of
mm,
litigations. Anybody
mm,
coming to the UK, if you want maternity and pediatrics, because it's an area that's very delicate, I would
mm,
say, firstly, get acclimatized to the general area.
mm,
Know the legal principles. Know how you need to practice safely very well before you now move to those areas. So many litigations. I wouldn't want a Nigerian or an immigrant coming here and has not been used to the system and just find yourself in such an environment where the demand is more high than what you have been known to be offering.
mm,
And
mm.
it can compress people and it can burn out people, even causing
Mm.
litigations.
Wow, wow. Wow, thank you so much. So I think we are done. Somebody just said ophthalmic nurses. Then he said, what about those that study insurance nursing? Is there now insurance nursing as a BSc in Nigeria now?
Insurance nursing, I've not seen that. Maybe this person studied in another country aside Nigeria. I don't think we've had that. Or maybe they are working in places like maybe HMO, maybe health
Okay, Chairman. Okay.
insurance. Maybe that's what they want to say, health
Yes, yes.
insurance aspect or something like that.
Mm,
If it's anything like that, the best bet will be US and maybe Canada and Australia. In the UK, there are limited opportunity like that. And
mm,
for ophthalmic nurses, how they are needed. Like almost every standard hospital in the UK are expected to have ophthalmic unit. So where they take care of the eye and anything that has to do with the eye. So you can apply directly from Nigeria. And you don't need any specialization. You just need to register as RN, adult nursing, general nursing in the register of the NMC UK. Then they can take you. They will train you. They will be happy to train you.
yeah. So finally, sir, if you're going to suggest to any nurses who want to do CBT to enter UK now, which of the specializations would you advise them to do so that they'll be able to get job on time?
Okay, thank you, sir. Now, when this issue of the job crisis started, we were looking at the statistics, looking at the data all around. We discovered that so many people have clouded the adult nursing because that's the one that is the most. We told our people, even if you're an adult nurse, try to shift a little bit to mental health. And even when
Okay.
you're in the UK, after you've been after you've been a mental health nurse, you can apply to as an adult nurse later, having a dual qualification, having a dual pin. We have some people like that today. So today, I will say uh the two is the most paramount. But the one you should run for and not try to register, midwifery, pediatrics, don't try it.
Mm,
It might take
mm.
far long time before you get job. In fact,
Job.
sir, there are
Mm,
people whom I advised
mm.
based on my own projection and based on my own experience. They are in the UK. I said, don't go for midwifery. Get your RN first. You know, some people are just passionate about midwifery Àwọn ni Yagbebi, they want to become the
Yeah,
midwife.
baby.
Yagbebi, sorry for people that do not understand Yoruba and who are not
Good
Nigerians.
one.
They are our midwives, and they are the ones that deliver us. They are just very passionate about the career. I say you have passion for the career. Please step down, apply for RN, get the job in that same hospital, transfer to midwifery section. The
Mm.
person has not gotten job till today now,
Mm,
after she has gotten pain for more than a year or so.
More than a year.
And they're in the UK.
Mm-mm.
Out and they are ready to go anywhere in the UK, either
For
England,
the interview, for the
Ireland,
on-site interview, and yet no job.
no job.
Mm.
Whether England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, all the
Ah,
four countries that
my
make up
God.
the UK. So
So, sir, now my question is this. So that means if I have RN, for example, now,
yes,
so can I now take let's say mental health CBT? Is it possible for an RN to take mental health CBT?
yes, it is possible.
Oh,
When you're
good.
registering, you will pick mental health, and then
Mental health.
you do the CBT and you do the Husky. It is the part
That's
of
good.
the register you pick to register. That's where you do the CBT, and that's where you do the Husky.
That's
But I
good.
want to say it to everybody, sir, because of the question for our audience. If you are actually benefiting from the question that our host, Mr. Taiwo, is asking tonight, you know that you've been on maybe midwifery or pediatrics pathway because you are not properly advised. You can cancel
Advice.
your registration, and if you have not done verification, especially, your £140 that you have paid will be refunded,
Mm,
fully refunded, fully refunded. It's even happened to some of my people personally, fully refunded.
mm.
And if you
I
know you
think
want to make the sacrifice, that £140 will might allow you to go. In order for you not to have delay of 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years
of looking for job.
of looking for
Mm,
job.
mm. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much,
Welcome,
so much.
sir.
So let me throw some love to you over here. I think that we
You're
have
welcome.
that's my boy too saying
Thank
I
you.
see. So let's say thank you to our facilitator today and our consultant. Thank you
Welcome.
for the insightful session. Thank
Yes,
you for the love. Thank you for opening your heart. Thank you for giving us direction because we believe that by this time, 2 month time, 3 month time, 6 month time, people will be coming with great testimonies, telling us that
absolutely.
no, they have done this and this are actually work for them. So if you want to reach out to Emman Solutions, you can always DM, you can always share Nurse Oyedemi's number with you directly. So as far as opportunity abroad is concerned, I give it to my friend. So thank you so much, sir. Thank you,
Welcome. Thank you
everybody.
for having me,
So
sir.
this session is being recorded. We said before that we will not give it to anybody free of charge, but but we are going to reconsider our stance. So that means between
Thank you, sir.
today and Monday, no, it will be available on our YouTube by Monday. So between today and Monday, you can ask for the link latest Monday morning. We'll send it to you. So, but the link would only be available for just 1 week or 2 weeks for you to go and watch. So after 1 week or 2 weeks, it will not be available for just anybody to view again. And so it's going to be priced. But for now, we'll make it available for 1 week, 2 weeks for you to go and go through it again. Probably want to share with your friends and family. So we'll make it available for 1 week. So by Monday, just DM me, we'll share the link with you. And thank you so much once again, Dr. Idemi.
Welcome,
Greeting
sir.
to your wife, to your beautiful children. May God keep blessing you on
Amen.
and on.
Amen.
Thank you. Let's have an amazing day. And bye to all our participants. Thank you for being here, for being attentive. And we
Yes.
wish you best of God in your prospects as nurses. Let's have a wonderful evening. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Bye.